Hello boys and girls, Adam Nicholas here from What Culture Wrestling to talk to you about some of last night's delicious sartorial selections from Money in the Bank. Now, if you're a little bit like me and fancy yourself to enjoy some lovely looking threads, then you're in luck because we've got quite a few, and the men and women from the main roster last night did not disappoint when it came to their attires. Throughout the years, we've come to expect wrestlers to make that little bit extra effort with their attires, especially when it comes to the big four pay-per-views. But as Money in the Bank has grown in popularity and importance, it now sits right up there with the rest, making it a fifth that demands a top-tier attire from its top-tier performers. With wrestlers often limited in their opportunities for creative agency in the modern era, how they look, at least for the most part, is still something that they have creative control over. And with that in mind, still something that's worth celebrating the most. I'm Adam Nicholas, and these are the 10 hidden meanings behind WWE Money in the Bank 2019 attires. Number 10, the new Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan graced the Money in the Bank kickoff show with a performance that was more than worthy of the main card, because of course he did. He's Daniel goddamn Bryan, he's the absolute best. But on top of that, he also pulled out an in-ring attire that was absolutely bang on his personal brand too. Sporting the black, gold and green branding of the Money in the Bank pay-per-view on his trunks and knee pads, this could well have been a hypocritical nod to the greed and overindulgence typified by this particular pay-per-view. Although I'm sure Bryan himself would almost definitely state it as an attempt to claim back the colours of his beloved planet. Number 9, ROWAN. The designer behind Bray Wyatt's terrifying new look this week discussed collaborating with some of the minds behind Slipknot's own iconic masks. And while that is a very cool collaboration indeed, that's perhaps not the reason why former Wyatt family member ROWAN repped the band's t-shirt on the pre-show. Sadly, earlier in the day, Slipknot member Sean "Clown" Cran had publicly announced the sad news that his 22-year-old daughter had tragically passed away. Utilising WWE's big stage, metal fan ROWAN decided to wear the t-shirt of the band in a silent show of solidarity in what must be a very difficult time for Cran and his family. Number 8, Charlie Caruso. Caruso herself confirmed during a typically meandering pre-show panel chat that she was indeed sporting Money in the Bank green for the night, although you'd be forgiven for thinking she was emulating another Charlie with this particular look. But like any attire aficionado, the host and backstage interviewer made sure the sartorial choice mattered the most. And in fairness, she did, for a little while anyway, manage to babyface heelish greed. Unlike this guy. Number 7, Sam Roberts. Sam Roberts boasted his growing reputation as the pre-show's biggest heel by delivering his latest barbs in a green velour suit jacket. Roberts has recently been dubbed the Hasbro Doink figure by fellow collectors Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins, so why not borrow a bit of the green colour scheme from everyone's favourite Attitude Era clown as well? Number 6, NAOMI. In an outstanding cosplay effort, NAOMI's take on Teen Titans Bumblebee could not have been more spot on, even down to her B-shaped stingers. And with all the recent nods to Marvel and the MCU, it was cool to see NAOMI repping a lesser-known female character from the DC universe. Because, let's face it, there's only so many times someone can dress up as Wonder Woman. Now, the only tiny criticism from me, and it is a very small one indeed because I am an unapologetic colour purist, I know, what a dickhead, but basically, imagine how much better this would have been, and I would have certainly loved it more personally if she'd managed to find a character from the DC universe with the green and black colour scheme, you know, like a Green Lantern or even a Beast Boy if she was wanting to keep it in the Teen Titans family, but that's being pretty picky. And in fairness, this was kind of green. It was just very, very glow-in-the-dark green, pretty much yellow. Yeah, maybe being a bit picky. But hey, I'm a colour nerd, and NAOMI was dressed as a badass Bumblebee. I know who I'd rather be. You do you, NAOMI. You do you. Number 5, CARMELLA. CARMELLA continued a running theme for her attire with another allusion, the third to be precise, to her "Mella is Money" slogan that she's used since twice, winning the initial Women's Money in the Bank briefcase back in 2017. You remember, she won the second one on SmackDown, but the first one was won by James Ellsworth. Remember him? Ooh. All 3 variants of her traditional look have sported the dollar-strewn patterns with gold and/or leopard print accompaniments. And a recent return for her blonde hair too helped keep the consistency with the previous year's efforts, while also suggesting she might well have been ready for history to repeat itself. Number 4, Bayley. In permanent tribute to Randy Savage's old-school flair, as well as being a regular fixture in these pieces, Bayley's gear routinely delivers thread for thought, while also providing that impressive aesthetic that belongs to WWE's most memorable performers. And make no mistake about it, Bayley is most definitely one of them. Like several others, she employed the green and white combo, but the emerald in her particular outfit was saved for the entrance jacket, but her in-ring attire was slightly different. It was covered in a stunning butterfly pattern, and on the side of her leg was an image of somebody letting loose the colourful creature from a box, maybe even a briefcase, as she let the butterfly loose and it was fluttering upwards into the air, perhaps suggesting someone was soaring to new heights. Does that sound familiar at all? Paying tribute to her recent past and future, the single butterfly appeared to reiterate her individuality with brightly coloured clarity, and if the box was in fact a briefcase, foreshadow the glory she'd attain by the end of the night as part of her newfound freedom. Number 3. Lacey Evans. While Lacey Evans donning the greedy green for her Money in the Bank attire did fit the bill quite nicely, it was one additional extra that finds her on this list, with a particular choice she made that happens to have elevated her above the rest. In gloriously obnoxious fashion, the sassy Southern Belle's boots were covered in high-definition stills of Evans blasting the man sideways with the woman's right. Outside of the money guns that Evans kept hidden in the first few seconds of her entrance, this was the best fashion flex of the entire event. Number 2. Seth Rollins and AJ Styles. Now, as a complete and utter nerd for big show attires, it's fair to say I was a little bit disappointed when Rollins came out to the ring for Money in the Bank wearing what appeared to be the same old attire that we'd seen him wearing since WrestleMania 35. Now, normally, Rollins is a massive big hitter for these events and has no problem in dressing appropriately for the pay-per-views in question, especially the Big Four and, of course, Money in the Bank. So for me, this felt a little bit off-brand. But, of course, what we're not taking into consideration here is that I am an absolute idiot. It wasn't until the bell rang that the architect's intentions became clear. In what was a wonderfully absorbing Universal title clash against AJ Styles, I suddenly realised that the story of this match was what mattered most, and it was very much framed as such, with a litany of comparisons between the two performers. Trading and countering holds and assaults in a brilliant back-and-forth battle, the pair were mirror images of one another in every way imaginable. And as such, Rollins sticking with his current gear made perfect sense, matching the black and gold colour scheme of Styles' gear while also providing a visual aid that was the perfect accompaniment for a narrative in ring that was already truly compelling. And number 1, Kofi Kingston. And finally, we have the WWE Champion Kofi Kingston. On a night where he was going in alone and being told he couldn't by Kevin Owens no less, Kofi Kingston made a defiant stand against the prize fighter with the latest and greatest attire design from New Day stalwart and friend of the channel, Jonathan Davenport. With another wonderful tribute to the late Jean-Michel Basquiat, following on from his stunning WrestleMania 35 attire, which had a very similar design to it, Kofi was donning the green, black and yellow colour palette that we saw him wearing during his debut back in 2008. Most notably, of course, Money in the Bank itself is a pay-per-view that Kofi holds dear in his heart. It was the first pay-per-view back in 2010 where he was the solo feature of the pay-per-view poster as well. There's a little tidbit for you to take to the pub. On his first pay-per-view WWE Championship defense, Kofi's storied 11 years came full circle, bringing together all the influences from his remarkable career that have led him to this point.
Hello What Culture, my name is Simon Miller and today I have an announcement so big, so huge, it's gonna shatter the very foundations of your life to the point you may need to phone up a friend and say, I don't even know who I am anymore, I have just heard the news, have you heard the news? They'll probably say, no, I haven't heard the news, but you're already on the phone to them, you've already connected with them, so I would appreciate it if you either tell them the news or send them to this video. Thanks. So what is the news? Well, it's nice and simple. I've heard you out there, I've seen you've been commenting, I've read your tweets, and I can now officially let you know that if you do enjoy Raw ups and downs, if you do enjoy SmackDown ups and downs, that now you'll be able to set your watches to them, you'll be able to make notes in your calendars, because we're gonna have an official time for when they're gonna go live. I know, massive. So Ups and Downs for Raw will go live at 2 PM GMT, that's British time every Tuesday, and they will go live at 2 PM GMT every Wednesday for SmackDown. So you don't have to be aimlessly walking around anymore going, what do? I want to know what got up and what got down and what Seth Rollins did or what AJ Styles is up to. Now you know, 2 PM GMT Tuesday, 2 PM GMT Wednesdays, Ups and Downs coming at you in the face. I realise what I just said, retract that, keep moving on, and I hope to see you there soon. And I hope that we build an audience so big that if I ever wanted to march an army anywhere in the world, I could, and we'd call it the Ups and Downs Army, because I haven't come up with a better name. So yes, just to reiterate, Raw Ups and Downs, 2 PM GMT Tuesday, SmackDown Ups and Downs, 2 PM GMT Wednesday. I cannot wait to bring this brand new era in, and unlike other brand new eras, I've already let you know exactly what you can expect to see. Come on, 2019, Kenny Omega, we don't know where he's going, but you do know and you can always rely on Ups and Downs.
Hi guys, I'm Adam Wilborn from What Culture, and if you're a fan of what you've just seen, then make sure you subscribe to What Culture Wrestling on either iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts for daily wrestling podcasts, where we not only review Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live, we also discuss the events before and after of pay-per-views. We have roundtable discussions discussing burning wrestling issues, interviews, and a roundup of the week, complete with a bloody good quiz, of course, on wrestle culture. Thanks for watching. I've been Adam from What Culture, and I'll see you soon.
And there you go, that's it. That's all the attires and hidden meanings we managed to find from Money in the Bank 2019. But, of course, as always, I'm sure there's quite a few that we either missed or haven't had a chance to put in because we only get to put 10 in the list. If you spotted some that we haven't though, let us know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and share. Hit the old subscribe button if you haven't already. If you want to read the original article for this piece, it's by Michael Hamflett. You can find that at whatculture.com/WWE. If you want to follow What Culture on Twitter, it's at WhatCultureWWE. If you want to follow me on Twitter, it's at It's Adam Nicholas. Or if you just want some more videos, there should be some just here. I'm Adam Nicholas, and I will see you next time.